welcome to Long Bangers in association with Leith Spirits. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin.
Wee bit of different episode tonight, Colin. No game. Well, actually, we will quickly touch on the women's game. I think that's like our starting point. Obviously, the cup final yesterday, a bit of a disaster for all involved. A 5-0 defeat you went through. How was it?
Good. I was disappointing. The started off okay. I thought like the first half. I thought we nearly scored to go one up. Lost a poor goal. I think it was about 40 minutes ish. Poor defensively to go 1-0 down, and then you're thinking right, get back in the game because it felt even at half time, even though it was 1-0 down, and two goals within. Well, it must have been 2 or 3 minutes of the game starting in the second half. So it was 3-0 within 50 minutes of the game, and you could see the players just slowed them down. They looked like just demoralised them because they looked really slow, and going into challenges, biting in
Mhm.
and taking the wrong option, wanting too long on the ball. It was a quite fucking frustrating. The keeper actually kept the score down. The keeper was superb. Like she's a good goalie, but she's only on loan. Um, so hopefully they can maybe get her signed up because she's pretty impressive. But they did let herself down. Like it wasn't a great performance at all.
Interesting thing that I saw when I was reading Hibsnet, there was a bit of chat about it's kind of flipped about, but the grass pitch being a problem because they're used to playing on plastic.
Aye, I seen that. I was interested. Aye, because it looks shite. It's just like the Rangers only playing grass match either.
Aye.
Because the nature it is a lot of the pitches they play on are artificial. So Rangers play the same teams as them.
And the results against the teams have kind of gone in Hibs' favour up until then. So it wasn't a
No,
given that Rangers were going to win it by any stretch of the imagination.
no, not at all. I mean, we're top of the league
Mhm.
going into the split. The split's a bit different in the women's side. Like they play home and away. The teams in the split. The league is pretty. It's like two leagues within a league. You've got the top 5 or 6 teams that are professional and stuff. Not professional but they're professional. Like they're full time in the job. They're not paid the money anywhere near what the men get, obviously. But the 5, 6 teams are your Rangers, Celtic, Glasgow City, Hearts, Hibs, and they're kind of miles ahead of everybody else. And so when they play the teams in the bottom half of the league, it's double figures and stuff.
Aye.
There's quite a gulf. But when they play each other, that's not always the case. Although it was 5 yesterday, going on 8, 9. If they keep it in, they'd be making the saves. Um, so, but they are. I mean, they're challenging them. They beat Rangers 3-0 this season. They beat them. They beat them a couple of times. They beat the other teams. They beat Celtic recently. So they are a good team. It's just when they seem to have a blowout, they have a proper blowout. Like we lost a derby at Easter Road, September, October time,
Hmm.
and we had started the season well, and we lost 4-0. But then since then we've been on a really good run. So, but then they've hit this one again, and it's like when they capitulate, when they get beat, they capitulate almost. So hopefully it's turned around for the rest of the fixtures. They can't win the Scottish Cup; they're already out of that. So it's the league or bust
Aye.
for the season.
Well, hopefully they do it. It's a disappointment. There's a good crowd went through and everything, and a
Yeah,
lot of excitement around it. I think it's all. I mean, the players themselves will be gutted with it. I think that's one of these things. You didn't
yeah,
get many cup finals, and if you lose one like that, it's always sore
yeah.
in it. Anyway, and in Scotland tonight, didn't they cheer anybody up? That was shite, wasn't it?
That was fucking rubbish as well. It was that was like midfielders no tracking runners, but then Craig Gordon just watching the ball go past them, like because if he would be sitting beside me on the couch, like because
Aye,
I was watching the ball go past them, like it was just like, what are you doing, stick an helmet or something?
it's not was right
Um,
arm.
nah, that's it, and that's what I've been saying for a while now. He was a good goalie or a good shot stopper. He's a shite footballer. As shown with that one when he passed it out to the guy at the end. But I mean, he's made some brilliant saves over the years. But I think you've got to pick out the brilliant for the good and what you would expect, because I think sometimes it's a TV save.
Aye.
But tonight he didn't even do them because he just watched it go in like he was watching on the telly.
Yeah, Steve Clarke in or out.
he's got us to a point, hasn't he? He's got us to the point where we're kind of going, how shite's that when we've got relegated out of the top tier of the European football. He's not got us through. He's got us to the championships again, which is
Yep.
like, which when we were boys, we were there all the time. We never footing in it. Mine's when we didn't get there in '94. That was like the first time in my lifetime we didn't win the World Cup.
Aye.
And then we went back in '98 again. It was like magic as an adult now can go out and have a beer and that, watch Scotland, Brazil and stuff. And that's been it since. We've never been back to one. And we're close to it. We're getting close to it. So why do you change it to get that final push, or do you go, well, better the devil you know? Like, because we could get somebody shite in again and then we go backwards. So there's that risk. I'd be tempted just to hedge my bets and keep them, but I get it because I've not got as much emotional spirit. That's mad to say, but you know what it's like when you watch Hibs. It feels more
It's
important to
different.
you.
Of course, it's different. Yeah.
And I know not everybody will believe that and say that. So apologies to them, right? But that's just where I'm at. But Scotland can be quite shite to watch. And when you get beat and you're shite to watch, then that's when the knives come out. Eh? If we're shite to watch and we win, it goes away.
Aye.
And that's the same at Hibs as well. But I'm kind of with Scotland. It's almost like, well, we're doing all right, you know. Whereas with Hibs, I'd probably have more of an opinion.
Fair enough. Right. We're doing the night, and it'll depend. There's no loads of folk watching. Normally, we've got quite a lot of folk watching by this point, but there's no games, so it's a wee bit quieter. So, we thought we would go out to our listeners and get some questions for the episode. So we'll be on for maybe a short episode if nobody's on. We've got some great questions from our Patreon. So if you are watching and you're not on our Patreon, we do have like a chat on there, like a wee uh, well, chat is the best way to describe it, where anybody who sort of subscribes can talk to us, talk to each other, talk about all things Hibs. And so we asked them that on Tuesday for some questions. So we've got some questions to kick us off with. We've also got a couple on Twitter and Blue Sky that we'll do. And then if you've got a question you want us to talk about anything, just fire into the YouTube comments. So actually, Donald has already said, yeah, that result against Rangers was a disappointment. I really expected them to win. Shame, but the women need to pick themselves up. Yeah, Scotland too. Sad weekend, just like the weather. Elliot says, do you think Nicky Cadden will get in the squad when Robertson retires?
Um, he's never been in it before, has he? This would be
Don't think so.
so his age probably is not helping. You know, being that late to the party. You've still got Tierney that would presumably, if fit, drop in there. Um, would he be seen as a left back? You know, like, is he a
I
left
see where
wing
he
back?
fits into that team. Nicky
Nah,
Cadden's a cracking player, but I didn't see where Steve Clarke would pick him, which is what the
aye.
problem is.
He's too
Uh,
attacking to be playing left back, I think.
aye. And you've got Ben Doak to come in. I think what side Ben Doak plays on, but if you're looking at wingers, he's probably going to
Yeah.
go there. I'm not sure Nicky Cadden meets the profile. I'm not sure he's fast enough either for international football.
Mm.
I think you kind of need that tier game, and I would say that's probably one of the things that Nicky Cadden doesn't have is that sort of blistering pace. So I would think it's unlikely Nicky Cadden will get a call up, and I think it's a shame because he's been one of the best players in the league this season. Jake Gapper asked, given we have three Australian internationals in the current Hib squad, who would you rather drink a shoey off of, Boyle, Miller, or Triantis? I
It's
think
when you
you're
put the
drinking
drink.
a shoey. Is it pouring beer in a shoe and drinking out the shoe? Is it?
I think so, aye. I could tell you it definitely wouldn't be, and that would be. Did you see that photo of Miller the other day with his shoes boots off?
Aye, I
He's
think what
fucking taste
happened
in his
there.
feet. So it's not him. So I'm left with Boyle or Chiantis. Boyle's feet's probably smaller, so I'll go with the smaller foot with the less volume in there.
Aye, that seems good logic. No footballer is going to have nice feet away. They're all going to be. You think about what they do for a living. They're all going to have
Aye,
toes like
yeah.
Miller's.
But I've seen
Um,
his. I know for definite that they're fucking
this is
horrible.
true. They're the ones that are hypothetical. And Tom Wallace said, if you had five heads, would you rather have them one on top of another or in a row?
What would you use five heads for? Like, what would you have set five sets of eyes as well? I take it then. Five noses.
I'd like it.
Not just got the head. You've got the whole hang. You've got the mouth, the
Your
lot.
middle one would have to be the main, yeah. Like, well, what's happening with the fucking? How are you eating? Like, are you having to think, like distribute? Because they're not going to get dry mouths. I think like for
I'm going
hat
along with it,
purchases
mate.
all up in a row, you only need to buy one hat, one
The one
umbrella.
bun it.
Aye,
I'm going with
aye. Well, that's only one each. And you go across the way, I'll
aye.
go up and down the way.
See what one
You'll
wins.
uh, you'll be better for seeing what's coming around corners. But I'll be able to
Aye.
see what there was.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. Good question. Ian says this is a nice chat. Jim said Steve Clarke out, never learns from his mistakes. He relies on the same players that don't even start for their clubs. And Joe says agree with Jim. Malcolm says
That's
Hibs
because
are
he
doing
never picked. That's because he's not picked Levitt though, Joe.
well.
We all know
Imagine
that.
Joe would be Steve Clarke in if Levitt was getting his game 100%. And Malcolm said Hibs are doing fantastic, guys. Top six winning derbies, especially tiny top six. Let's celebrate. Um, Jeff Jeff Ashton asked, has Ellie made more appearances for Hibs this season than John has on long bangers? Yes.
Aye, John's got a sore. John's got a sore toe just now, isn't
Aye,
he? So
John is off by a sore toe. He's got toes like Lewis Miller.
yeah.
Hey. Right, let's go on to the Patreon. We'll get the questions from for there. So,
Should say to
yeah,
everybody like listening, we've done an extra time. We've just done an extra time. Be interested to hear this in the comments to the guys that are watching, or the girls, in fact, as well, because I know
Levitt's
there's
Welsh.
girls that watch.
Ian's just pointed. Just
I
by the
know,
way,
I
just
fucking know he is. I fucking know he's Welsh. It was just a joke. Fucking pedants, man. Eh? Um, does anybody watch Top Flight Time Machine? That's a
the
Lampard.
Lampard.
That one. Yeah.
Aye.
Anyway, no. I was saying something there. Oh, an extra time topic. We just done a topic, which was sent in on the Patreon by Tam, which was I thought was really interesting, and it was a question about the value in academy. So that'll be out presumably later on tonight or tomorrow. I don't know when you'll put it out, but
Tomorrow I'll put out. Well, what be the other
aye.
night?
So it's interesting, but we'd be interested to hear if in the comments, like I know you've not heard the episode yet, but what's your is there value in Hibs having an academy, and if so, why? And do we give enough opportunity to our young players um, to establish themselves in the first team?
So the two questions there for the comments. Is there value in having an academy? Do we give enough opportunity to young players? Get your
Yes.
responses in. Ramy said, "Yo lads, how bad were Scotland? Think Craig Gordon's finished now?" Somebody put on one of our WhatsApp. It's been great watching the demise of Gordon. Like the fact that he's
It
still
was me.
playing. Was it you?
It was me. I love it. I hate the cunt.
Tremendous, tremendous. Mind they gave him his last appearance and he fucked that up, and then they just kept picking him. It's
I
like he's
never took
gone,
him to the tournament. He's never
aye.
played in a major tournament. I don't think he's missed them both. And then he's back just playing the bounce games here and now, and making a fucking mess of it. Aye.
Ian says he did put an emoji by the way after the Levitt as well. So
You
maybe
never
not
read
quite
the
laugh.
emoji out.
I never read it. How do you do an emoji though?
Don't know, a laughing face or something.
All right, I'm not doing that. It's like
ROFML, was it?
when you get your car or your Bluetooth speaker or whatever to read out your WhatsApp messages.
Aye. Rolling on the
Tremendous.
floor laughing emoji.
Aye. See no evil monkey emoji. The
Mm.
other one. Elliot says, asked, who do you think will finish in the top six? Will Hearts make it? So who's making the top six for you, Colin?
So I can't. Well, we went through on one of our
We
extra
did
times a couple of weeks
mathematically,
ago
yeah,
and worked
scientifically.
it out. And I think we came out with Hearts being seventh on that, but a lot of that will be wishful thinking as well, based on. But a lot of these teams have got. I mean, we're obviously in the top six already, right? So Rangers, Celtic, Hibs, they're guaranteed. I think Aberdeen will make it as well because I think they've probably got enough in the bank for that run
Mm-hmm.
earlier in the season. So then you're down to two places between Hearts, Dundee United, and St Mirren. Maybe Ross County still in the mix as well. I
Motherwell,
can't
I don't
remember.
know who's Mother. I can't remember. Dundee's out
So
the running, I think.
aye,
Aye.
St Johnstone. So aye, so I think Rangers, Celtic, Hearts, Hibs, and Aberdeen, and I think Hearts will make it, and I would love Dundee United not to make it. I'd love Hearts not to make it as well, but actually, I didn't mind another derby. Like, try and get the record, try and get the numbers back, get some kind of fucking respectability. Because obviously they've got that statistical anomaly for the
Aye.
80s and 90s. But if we take that out of it, then I think we're fairly even, right? But I'd love Dundee United not to make it. Just fucking good one to see what who's got to blame for it, because it'll not be him,
Be
obviously.
us.
It'll still be us. So Rangers, Celtic, Hibs, Aberdeen, Hearts, and Motherwell.
Aye, I think Dundee United will get it. I think Aberdeen will get it. Obviously, Rangers and Celtic. And us last spot. If I was if I was going with my head, I think Hearts will get the last spot. I think they will get the top six. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be it. I kind of see the other ones like sort of putting a run together over the last few games. I think they even used it a thing where they kind of worked it. Did you see that they said it was impossible for us not to get top six, and then somebody on Hibsnet went and put, well, that's not right, and they showed now it would have to be like a freak run of results for it to happen, but we could still drop out the top six. I think
Okay.
St Mirren could beat us by a point if we didn't win another game, and they won all of their ones. Then they
Because it
would.
was the reason we've made the reason that they said we made the top six was Evening News, I think, or the Observer.
I
No, I
was
think it was Evening News.
even used ran with it.
And I think what they're saying was because all these teams have got to play each other, they all can't win enough games.
Aye, but he worked
But
the
they're
boy
saying there
on
is a way.
well, Hibsnet worked. He showed his working and everything, and you're going well.
Aye,
Assuming that's right, then even I think somebody said even used done it based on like probability. There's a 1% probability of those
right. Aye.
results playing out. So they were like, well,
Typical Hibs. Typical
aye,
Hibs, though.
typical
Aye.
Hibs. Aye,
Yeah.
we could find a way. Um, I think we're safe anyway. Ian said they were saying in commentary Craig Gordon was hoping to beat Jim Leighton's 91 cap record.
Mm.
Do you think Gordon's a better keeper than Leighton?
No, no, they were both shite at football. Both good shot stoppers in their day. But I'm not going to give Craig Gordon any credit. No. He plays for
100%
Man
on board with
United.
that.
What, never?
But this is true. This is true. Uh, have you ever seen anybody more eager with Vaseline than Jim Leighton?
In football?
Well, just in general.
No comment.
Uh, Crookie says, I'm going to go for, yeah, but as a club, we should be better trying to give lads a chance here and there a bit more. I think with the club not doing that great over the years hasn't helped us in relation to the academy. And we were talking about it earlier, is a difficult one for the club when the pressures to hit targets and finish as high up
Yeah.
the league as they can to play the young players. Malcolm said not just the academy, Colin, but what about all the kids that play primary football? That's the future. Great thing is, I see this all over Easter Road. Donald says we must win against St Johnson. Obviously, no more draws. Draws have been killing us. Right, I'm going to go to the Patreon. Jeff asked, "Does anyone see a future for Vente under Sir David Gray's way of playing?" So again, let us know in the comments if you what you think about Vente. So, Colin, for you, Vente's still got another year left on his deal. Does he come back and feature for Hibs again?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think Gray knew what it was Gray that let him go out on loan, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He was in charge at that point, so I know what we're saying, the style of play changed and stuff, but I just don't think. I'm not saying Dylan Vente's not a good player. I just think the Scottish football doesn't suit him. I think it was maybe too quick for him, or the Dutch game's maybe a bit more technical and not as frantic, and that maybe suits him a bit more, and that's why he's apparently double figures. I think somebody said in the Patreon chat during the week, maybe 11 goals or something. Since he's went back, he showed he could finish. There were some these goals that he did score. There was some good finishing there. It's just that he didn't get in the place to do the finishing often enough. And that could have been due to the style of play. It could have been due to him not being quick enough to anticipate. I don't know. I don't know what the reason was. He did seem to be off a deep a lot of the time. I just don't think Scottish football suited him.
There was a bit of chatting in the replies to that question for Jeff. You'd obviously asked how many goals he scored, and Stuart said he could be the perfect foil for Bowie. Personally, hope he keeps knocking the goals in and Hibs get an offer they can't refuse. And with Newcastle, my English team, Sunderland getting promoted could be the best thing for Hibs, as I believe Sunderland might make him available. And I would put whatever money we have and sign Triantis. He said Vente was the third top scorer in the league, which for the club, he's scored 12, but his club is 14th and struggling. And he scored a couple in the cup as well. They're going to say, I don't think he's going to come back. And I'd be interested to see what the listeners think about that as well. If they want to, like say, put comments in the chat. I think Vente wouldn't want to come back. I think he's had a poor experience at Hibs. Like, I don't think it's been great for him, despite a great start. 5 goals in his first 5 shots, cracking, and then it dried up, and he was chasing back, and he wasn't involved in games, and there was question marks about whether or not he could cut it at Hibs. I think when you've gone for that, and then you go back to a league you're familiar with, where you were successful before, and it starts working out for you again, you would just stay there, wouldn't you? I mean, you would go, where's the value in going back to Scotland? It's just not going to happen.
Agreed.
Aye. And Jeff says, is there a curse when we make a marquee signing? So Vente out on loan, Levitt injured and didn't play for Rangers under Monte and David Gray. Yuan injured, Bowie injured, and only now get up to speed. Also, Manny sent off after 13 minutes. Bad luck, or is bad recruitment, or combination?
No, I don't think it's. So I think it's that much recruitment. Like different people looking for different things. That I'm hoping now that I'm hoping that we've settled down a bit. In terms of managers moving on and recruitment being a bit more structured and having somebody in charge of it or people in charge of it. That we might still get our marquee signing, but there's a bit more like reasoning behind them being a marquee signing, or we've got a manager that's signing a Levitt, for example, with an idea where he's going to play and how he's going to fit in the team, rather than let's sign a marquee player and build a team around it. So I'm hoping that that's what will change it. Obviously, there's been a bit of bad luck there about his injury and stuff. Although, having said that, he was just coming back for injury when he signed. So then maybe the recruitment would say, well, no, I can take the chance on him now because he's coming back for an injury. Not that I'm saying I wouldn't want Bowie signed, but just an example, like it's bad luck, but in a way, it's like we knew what we were getting. Like we signed him, he was injured.
Aye. Sure, it's happened before. Like going back years and years, Paul Wright, when we signed him, he was doing well, and then he got. I think it was Neil Berry, fucking took him at typical fucking Derby at the time.
And Hibs.net in that, Neil Berry.
Aye. I think Ian Viva Palmeiras on Hibs, and he cast up a lot. I think it sticks in his mind. I mean, raging about that. He's just thinking, fuck's sake, like he was Paul Wright was good for us when he signed. Like he started off well, if I remember. I'm trying to think who else we've had that's come in with a bit of fanfare. They'd just been James Collins, mind that didn't work out for him at all. He kind of came in and was pretty
He was
shit.
unlucky, but he was unlucky as well. That it was just at the time of the made up rumour about Griffiths 100 grand and all that. 150 grand. So somebody coming in that was spent more than that on. It was always they were under massive pressure.
Aye. Ian from off of the phone in, he said your discussion on extra time, the big picture would be worthwhile. So we did an episode last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, where we were sort of taking a step back and looking at the season overall. We'll not go back into that now, but it is on extra time. So if you're a subscriber, you'll find it if you've not listened to it already. But we were talking. It's your point, Colin, about having to improve the level of our playing staff just to stand still is important. So this is what Ian's listed, right? He said, so number one, to remain competitive in the SPL, we don't need any new players. We just need an academy feed. So this is almost like to stand still would be have the academy players provide the extra players and complement what we have. To guarantee top 6, we need to improve in specific positions and buy them in. And then to guarantee third place, we need a policy of across the board improvement, as we discussed, where we have a better player coming up behind who we currently have, e.g. a proper partnership with Bournemouth and Black Knights as a source. And then 4, to guarantee we regularly beat Old Firm, say 50-50, so 1 out of 2 times. We need an investment of a substantial sum for 3 or 4 key players, say 10 million, and then 5 to have a realistic chance of winning the SPL. We need new owners and an ambitious long-term strategy, and we'll have to make the stadium bigger to pay for it, like Bournemouth. Right, so on that, any issues with what Ian's saying there? You agree or disagree with it?
I think we need to have the academy feed. There's no doubt about that. I mean, and I stick by my point. Like you need to improve. You need to. What was it I said last week? You need to run
To
to
improve to
stand
stand
still.
still. Aye,
Aye.
pretty much.
And that's where we need to go. So we still need to be bringing better in. And you know, we all get emotional about it. We spoke about it before with various things. Like when we were shite, we were emptying that squad and clearing it out. But now we're going, well, he's been good the last couple of months. You know, and it's like you try to get him. You need somebody ruthless that's in charge and going, nah, like Alex Ferguson used to be.
Aye.
And I can't, I'm not comparing it's not Alex Ferguson, but you know, it's the same mentality there. And that, like, we need better than you. So you're going, like, whether it be like fucking Yap Stam that he let go or Paul Ince that he let go
Aye.
when they were good.
Keen. Aye.
And that's because we're getting better in, and we need to be there. You know, like, and I know people say, well, we should sign Rocky and we should sign, I can't remember who the other ones that are out of contract are, but there's a few of them that you're going, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, January the 1st even, that was when it first started, the conversations. It's like people have been quite happy for them to go. It's only March. It's only middle of March, end of March. You know what I mean? It's like, I think the results blur a lot. But anyway, that's not Ian's no midday points, is he? I think we need to move forward to stand still, and we need an academy feed, and that's what I think that's an interesting topic, and we've already covered half an hour on it the night. We could have probably done more.
Aye.
But I think we need to get an academy working. We need to get it working. There's no point winning leagues and cups in the academy if we didn't get players in the first team.
I thought that the point about guaranteeing third place, I think you need a huge amount of money to guarantee, like in inverted commas, third place. Hearts and Aberdeen already outspend us by a distance, so we would need to match their spending probably and then exceed it to
Yeah.
guarantee it. It just so happens this season we've got a decent chance of beating them at third place on a lower budget. That's just because we've been managed a bit better. Which you wouldn't have believed at the start of the season, but here we are. Realistic chance of the SPL. Fuck knows how a team other than Celtic win it. Like I know Rangers have beat them the last couple of times that they've played them, but Celtic will go in the summer and just spend. Okay, well they've got about 80 million in the bank. They could go to spend 20 million, no bother, and no blink about it. For us to catch them, you're almost looking at having to have, I'd say, minimum a £5 million player in every position. So it's about 50, if you only do your start 11, 55 million quid is your initial investment, and that's only kind of get near them. It's fucking mental the gap between them, and then to sustain it, it's nuts. And you saw even like kind of the size of their stadium, the size of ours. He makes that point. Like if we filled Easter Road every week, 20,000. Celtic at 60,000. So just like their gate income's 3 times more than ours. That's the starting point before you're looking at everything else that comes with it. Going back to YouTube comments, Raimi says Jim Leighton, the best keeper I've seen at Hibs. In 2 seasons, he spilled one goal, either Partick or St Mirren. I can't remember which, in a 2-2 draw. He was better than Gorham. He said Gorham wasn't the best at near post shots. Sorry, I'm slaving it on. John says, do we get money from the SFA for academy graduates that are playing in the Scottish leagues? I think there is some sort of compensation for it. Elliot says about Vente, I think he left due to being homesick, would be surprised to see him back. Scropeman, I like that name there. It's got a wee picture of chili pepper as well. So a spicy Scropeman. Vente should be back in the team next season with Kukrevic's loan end and give him another chance at least until January next season to assess his performances. That's maybe an option, isn't it? Like to say, like we'll give you till January. We've got a player already in the books. We're already paying for him. We know what we've got. Maybe giving him the first half of the season to see where he's going to. I didn't see the value in that. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. We're going to sell him. He's not going to extend his contract with us, so we're better if we can sell him now just to do it.
Yep.
Crookie says, have you seen the Daily Record saying we're linked with Oisin? I think that's his pronounced Oisin McEntee, a centre back from Walsall. So we saw that earlier on, Colin. Biggest conversation was how do you pronounce his first name? How are you going for it?
Just the same as how you said it a minute ago.
Nice one. So, I think that's how you say it.
Aye, so
I,
yeah.
I think so. Interesting to look at the centre back. I wonder if that gives us a nod that Rocky's on his way because we already have Iredale, O'Hora, and Pateta on longer deals. So if
Yeah,
you bring another centre back, it's to replace one. I would say that probably is an indicator that Rocky's not going to take up
not
his
signing.
extension.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the guy's like either. I have no idea how the English lower leagues. No idea if he's any good. Got a bit of
On
trust in the
uh,
process.
on the topic of Rocky, Ian says, "Can we not solve the problem with Rocky having to pull his socks up over his calf muscles numerous times in the game? I really hope he gets on the field for DRC this time." So he did play. Rocky is one that adjusts his socks quite a lot, isn't it? Because he's got big calves.
I don't know. Like, I think I replied to that. So I believe if they cut the ankles with the socks and they wear the grip socks, they can then have the socks at whatever height they want.
All
And
right.
they didn't need to. That's how you've got like Billy Gilmore running about the night with the socks up like tights. You've got other ones like who have them just over the tip of the shin pad.
These grip socks, you seen the fucking price of them?
Aye.
They're ridiculous. For a pair of wee fucking socks with some dimples on the bottom.
So I'm sitting here.
Have you? The way they
Aye.
would say that didn't get your address away because somebody would fucking break it in.
They're not mine. But they're sitting right here because I'm sitting beside all the washing that's just been done.
Um, Raymond says Paul Wright's debut was against Aberdeen. If I mind right, Hibs were 2-1 down. He came off the bench and scored two to win 3-2. Gilkey Hibs said agree about academy feeding first team on a more regular basis, but we should always be looking for that X factor players within our price range. I think that's a key point as well. Is that you do want to have, like even for the fans, like fans like to see a young player coming through, but there's nothing like a big signing, like for
Yeah,
getting the excitement for the new season.
yeah.
We're going to go back to Patreon. Callum Trotter said the last likely lucrative third place for a while. Could a better January window have guaranteed third? If Hibs manage third and Celtic win the cup, did the board empty the coffers, maybe 2 or 3 million to buy extra players to cover all campaigns, given that it's guaranteed 5 million? And if so, how many players of at least the current first team qualify would we need to avoid collapsing in the SPL 25-26 and in league stage Europe? Invest now for repeated third places, right? So I think the crux of that is two points. Would a better January window have got us third, assuming we don't get it? And how big a squad do you think we need for competing next season if we do get into Europe?
Um, I think we spoke about the January window before,
Mhm.
and I think maybe not doing anything was a good window. Just getting rid of a few bodies. Maybe that made it, rather than just bringing somebody else in that unsettled the dressing room or changed the formation to fit
Mhm.
them in, or that maybe it was a good thing to do. I don't know. As in for next season, so that's wait to be. We need to wait till the end of the season, and we can decide with hindsight whether it was a good window or not. I think at the moment it looks like okay because we've been all right, and we've chucked another couple of points away in the league, but we were doing that before the window as well.
Is
Um,
that an argument that we should have got more in then? If we're doing what we're doing before the window, after the window, we
aye,
could
well,
have.
maybe if they were going to make a difference, that's my point is. I think well, we don't know if they would have made a difference. We just like they might have come in and disrupted stuff. They might have come in and changed stuff that we're doing, or changed the formation to fit them in, or like I don't know. Aye, so it's a fair challenge back, but it's all unknown. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, and when it happens, that's when we can then say, "Aye, we should have," or "No, we didn't," and we're right
Aye,
not to. As for the other one, that's a really hard one because I think history's kind of shown that the team that finish third and go into that European League, they they struggle with Thursday Sunday because you fill your squad. You probably can't afford to fill it, and actually you wouldn't have enough players happy to come in and play a bit part at that
aye.
level. So you need to fill it with players that are squad fillers, and they're playing on the Sunday against St Johnstone, for example. But then, like, there's nothing between the teams. Like, so if you stick a couple of St Johnstone level players in on the Sunday, then there's no enough quality there to make a
Aye,
difference. So that's why teams struggle like that when they go in. So you either, like, it's a quantity quality argument, and you can't afford the quality, so you need to go quantity, and then the quality holds you back. The quality holds you back. It's a fucking hard one. Like, it's a real hard one.
it is.
Unless you're going to be in Europe every year, it's really hard to get the first time you do it to get it right. And then the problem is nobody's had it right yet, so they've not had the second season to then
Aye.
to reinforce the funds and all that. You know what I mean? It's a really, and we're not going to get that either. We've got a one off because the coefficient's fucked again because
Mm.
Hearts and Aberdeen that have been parked out.
It's all, yeah. It's like you need to have that buffer of money behind you to say it doesn't matter what
Aye,
happens in season two. We're going to build as if we are going to be competing in Europe season on season
aye,
and use that to achieve it rather than going, well, we'll hedge our bets. Like we've qualified this season, but next season we might know. So we didn't want to be lumbered with the cost of a European squad for 4 years
yeah,
when we're not playing in Europe. It is difficult, but you need to chuck the money at it. On that, on the money, Tam says how you spend it's more important than the actual budgets. Jack Ross, and this season are practical, functional teams, not good sides, but fit for purpose. Um, I totally agree, right? So obviously, it's not always the richest club that wins, right? But more often than not, it is. But if
yeah,
you have the money and can spend it well, that's like your ideal bit because that will give you an advantage that makes you untouchable. Is when you've got a lot of money and spend it badly, as Hearts and Aberdeen have done over the last couple of years, where kind of Hearts have been up and down with it, then teams with less money they can catch up with you. But if you get it right, nobody can get near you because get the teams with less money have a ceiling, and they're only ever going to hit that ceiling. They'll never
yeah.
consistently kind of catch up. If you've got the more money, you will over the course of time. If you spend it wisely, do better. Liam said we should consider putting the academy in the Lowland League division. Hearts and Celtic have their youths in there. I think Rangers do as well. We spoke to Steve Keane about that, and I can't remember exactly what his answer was. It was about pulling them back into the first team, wasn't it?
He says you couldn't pull them back because you're effectively contracted to another team. But I don't know if that's still the case.
I think it's
However,
changed now.
a quick challenge back would also be, like, James Wilson. Did he play in the Lowland League before he got in the Hearts first team, or did he just go straight in the Hearts first team?
Don't know.
And I know it's one example I keep using, but it's like they're right on our doorstep,
Mm-hmm.
and they've done it. But we're sitting here going, nah, we just can't find that. We can't. We need to create a Lowland League team to go and play against boys that we work with who play in the Lowland League, and that's effectively who they're going to go and play. Are they really going to? How much are they really going to learn playing against a boy that works in pensions? Because that's need, like, these boys are fucking much better than me at football. I've played five-a-sides with boys in that have played Lowland League, and you're like, fucking hell, how did he not make it as a
You
pro?
can't get near them, eh?
Right? But but are we really going to stick a 16, 17-year-old out there, like, and go, this is the best bit of development for them? Like if we think they've got potential in the first team, go and kick about a fucking park up at Civil Service Strollers, or Whitehall
How
Welfare.
how many like so they've been in the Lowland League for a couple of seasons now. How many of those players have hit Celtic's first team, like for the Celtics, and how many of the Rangers are in Rangers' first team? I don't know. Like, but I
There's
suppose
Rangers,
that,
the Rangers doing it now. I think it's just Celtic and Hearts, is
well,
it
I
not?
said the Rangers stopped doing it. They probably couldn't afford it.
I'm not sure. Like I sometimes see the fixtures go on the BBC Sport when I'm looking at that, because they often play a Friday night, and you'll see, if you're looking to see what the Championship game is, it's there. But I've not really noticed Rangers there anymore. It's just Hearts and Celtic. Celtic will not get any through, right? They're just like they barely make anybody through their academy. But when they do, they make it big, like McGregor or Tierney.
Aye,
Whereas, like, Hearts have got Wilson there now. I don't know if he played Lowland last year though.
don't
And
know.
then you could say that, well, maybe that's a case study, and you go, well, he went and done it, and look, he's like, he just played for Scotland tonight.
But then is it worth it for one player? Like if they were getting young
Well,
players through before.
we're not getting any through, right? So,
Well, Josh Campbell was one that's come through. He's like sort of main first team now. Rudy
aye.
Molotnikov this
He's not
season,
made it yet,
11.
though, has he? He's just
No, he's
there.
not made it yet. But the boy Wilson's not made it yet. He got capped tonight, right? But
He's playing every week.
Aye, but did Lennon Miller get on?
No.
I don't think
I
he
was
did.
I was watching it. I
I
don't think
can't
he
mind
did
if
though.
I can't mind if he
No,
got on through the week or tonight.
no, I think he did.
Lennon Miller streets ahead of the boy Wilson at
A
Hearts. Like
different
I think
position
they
though.
I kind of play a different position, but I suppose the point I'm making just like the getting capped isn't necessarily the barometer of the quality. There's a wee bit other things that play there. Um, Donald says, don't forget Ronnie Simpson. Maybe I'm too old. And Joe says Ronnie Simpson was the best goal in my time watching Hibs. He was also in the Newcastle team, which won the FA Cup in 1955. And Donald says maybe Rocky needs suspenders. Uh, we've had suspenders, we've had Vaseline. There's all sorts going
I
on
know.
tonight. El Kerr said, evening lads, joining late's apologies if you have already discussed it, but you think it's time up for Stevie Clarke. Thank goodness the Hibs are back next weekend. We got it at the start and we were kind of probably hedging our bets on it. But I'm delighted that Hibs are back next weekend. I'm not a huge fucking lover of the international breaks. Yeah, I'd rather they did them in the summer. I kind of shite for the players, didn't
Aye.
get any time off in that, but take summer hope. Kids, they could take their families and that, like go have it in Dubai or fucking
It's
we
their
know wherever
job.
they'll head off to. It's their job.
Uh,
They're like that, and just let us have the fucking because you could wrap the season up earlier if you never had
uh,
international breaks. You could have that and
you
then
know
do
what?
the
I,
internationals after the league
I,
stuff's finished.
I don't mind this one, right? And the reason being, I think we've had a wee run of games. It's see the start of the season, you get into it, you play the League Cup, you play a couple of league games, and you're off. And then you're back for a couple of weeks, and you're off. And then you're back for a couple
Aye.
of weeks, and you're off. And you're like, fucking hell. Because I've often said, like, you've got the two games, and then back a couple of games, 2 games off for Scotland. You know, for Scotland, 2 games. So they play 6 games over the three
Mm.
breaks. And it's almost like, can they really play 3 games twice rather than 2 games 3 times? You know, like
Aye.
do it that way. But and then at least it's only 2 international breaks rather than 3. And then the March one's fine, and then the June one, but like nobody's paying attention by then anyway, are
Malcolm says, I don't believe that playing for Hibs is similar to English Championship football. I think that David Gray has done a great job in very difficult circumstances. Gilkey, on the topic of Hibs keepers in the past, can you remember Budgie's warm up consisted of hanging from the crossbar for 10 minutes? Looked like a scene from Monty Python. His warm ups were legendary. Like he would be there in the forward rows and the
Handstands and
handstands
that.
and everything.
Yeah.
He used to train naked in that. Mind like the stories about him, you'd get done for that now. Eh? Fucking
Aye.
mental. Like folk just went, that's normal. Uh,
Aye, it's a goalie, they're all a bit mental, eh?
the story was he used to get his wife to chuck oranges at him when he was watching the telly.
Aye. Aye.
I fucking love that. It just how would you broach that? Like, you might just say to your missus,
Aye.
I want to practice being a goalie, right? See the night when we're watching Coronation Street, can you just
Aye.
fucking chuck oranges at
Just so
him?
you can like catch one.
I poof, it anywhere like that.
Mental.
It was
Bit
like
mental.
in the Pink Panther movies with Peter Sellers and what was it, Kato? Was that his? He used to try to get out a surprise attack him all the time. That's the kind of same.
Aye.
I think how you would take that into other lines of work, like how you could just sort of do some surprise admin. Fucking
Aye. Chuck us
somebody
a
chuck a
pen and
pen
we'll,
at
we'll
it.
watch.
Fucking brilliant. It's like you hear the stories about Nigel Clough, Brian Clough, sorry.
Uh-huh.
They come up. I must have listened to like 2 or 3 of them over the last wee while, and they keep coming up on my YouTube feed. And it's folk that played for him. They just tell stories, and they're not fucking like. He kind of obviously was an alcoholic, and that's no funny. But how nobody intervened is beyond me. There's things like I'm fucking crawling about folks' living rooms and taking
Aye.
flowers at their gardens and hitting folk like left, right, centre. You're a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I think everybody just sort of went, it's just Brian.
Never
Like
had him back or nothing, eh?
he's won a couple of European Cups, so
Well, to be fair, the
yeah, we
Leeds
be
players
fucking
did.
in him.
The Leeds
Aye,
players went, fuck you.
but worth looking up some of the stories about him. But you think, fucking hell, that wouldn't fly these days. Alistair Taylor on our Patreon. So again, if you just tuned in, we've got a chat on our Patreon. So if you're a member on Patreon, there's a chat there, and we went in for questions for this episode on Tuesday. So we've got a few to get through. Alistair says, "Why does Chris Cadden never wear shin guards? Are his shins made of titanium or something? Shin guards are a godsend." You have these wee tiny shin guards now, eh?
You do.
What's the fucking point in them?
I didn't ken. I think it's because you must the rule is you've got to wear them. So
Mhm.
if you don't want to wear them, you have to wear them so that the referee you can go over membership
Can I get
cards.
that? But surely you would want to wear them for like if your livelihood is reliant on your legs not being fucked.
If you've got
Sure,
calves like this, though, I mean, you want to get them out and show them off a bit.
you still see them though with like the shin guards at the front.
I know, but you can roll the socks down. But he's,
Ah, right. It's that just for the aesthetics.
aye. Whereas his brother just seems to have like really tight socks, or even bigger calves.
Aye.
Chris, if you're listening, you need to get working on the calves. You're not like your brothers.
Um, Ian said, hopefully the team Vente is on loan. That makes us an offer we can't refuse. I think that's the ideal situation with Vente,
Aye.
isn't it? Like his team that's there, just go, here's £1 million or whatever.
Hopefully their fans are going, pay the money like we are with Triantis.
Aye. Raimi said, would you believe that Harry McCurdy had scored 2 goals in 3 games for Bromley?
Aye, I would, aye. Because one, because I've read it, but two, even if I hadn't, then I'd believe it because it's it's a level that they should be scoring goals at. You know what I mean? It's like if you've been here, and how many players have we had before that go down and play the lower league? You mentioned James Collins earlier. Been
Mm-hmm.
superstar in the lower leagues in England.
Like Donaldson was another one, eh?
Aye. So happens all the
Uh,
time.
John on Patreon says the last team other than one of the arse cheeks to perform consistently in the league is Aberdeen. For 4 seasons on the trot, they got more than 70 points, something we haven't done in the modern era. Shinnie, Considine, McLean, Christie, all good players, but at that stage of the career, we should be able to look at that calibre of player. So if we're looking at regularly secure third and win cups, that's where we need to look. What is the mindset change that we need to get there? I might be guilty of giving too much leeway, but if the target at the start of the season is 70 points, 70 plus points, drop points to bottom 6 teams, kill your chances. Bad luck happens, but games like Saturday, where we leak the points, must stop. A bit of a ramble, right? So,
Totally agree with that.
What is the mindset change that needs to happen there, Connor?
It's that conversation. I've mentioned that a couple of times. Greg, who's our sponsor, has said to me when I think we drew maybe at Ross County one night earlier in the season, the midweek game, and he was like, "How many times do we go into games like this and go, well, a point away at Ross County is not too bad?" And we do it as fans,
Aye.
and I think that must transmit into the club as well. Like they're thinking that a point at St Johnstone, hard place to go. Oh, Kilmarnock away, like the bottom 3 teams in the league, or they were when we played them, and we chucked 6 points against this year.
Mm-hmm.
Since January the 2nd or whenever it was played St Johnstone. And it's like those points, those 6 points, we'd be well on track for 70 points if we had those 6 points. And we'd be cruising in third, and we would almost guaranteed third now.
Mm-hmm.
And we throw points away against the shit teams away from home, and we go, well, it's not a bad point, it's a hard place to go. We spoke about it in a preview before we played one of them. I think it was Kilmarnock actually, and I said to John was on then one of his appearances, one of his 11 appearances that he's made this season, eh, that what's Kilmarnock's record like at home? Like, does everybody else go there and get beat or draw as well? Like, and the stats didn't really back it up that they are any of these teams are that good at home. We just
Aye.
then blame the pitch or we blame something else, and it's like
Yeah.
did Celtic go there and win?
Because if they were all brilliant at home, they'd all be right up the league, yeah.
Well, I did. It'd be a complete polar thing saying like, well, they're fifth in the league, and the reason they're fifth in the league is they've won all their home games, so they're unbeaten at home, but they've lost all their away games. Whereas no, and aye, Ross County away, like we had Liverpool there, and we always go, well, a draw's no bad because we do draw there a lot. Well, it needs to be it is bad. It's
Aye.
fine. Like, say if you're drawing at Aberdeen or you're drawing with Dundee United or whatever, you go, we come up. Their competitors, a draw against them is good away from home, particularly a draw with teams that are sitting bottom 3 of the league, bottom 4 of the league. We should be looking to go and win, and that's how you get 70 points.
Aye. Because that's it. I mean, like, we've got St Johnstone and Dundee to come east the road before the split, and taking anything other than 3 points each for those games is a bad result. Like, there's no two
Aye,
ways about it.
yeah,
You can't really dress it up as anything other than that. I like the point about the type of players, and I think we've had a wee bit of shift last season through accident or design, I'm not quite so sure. But bringing in Nicky Karen, Hoylett, who else did we play? Trying to remember, was it Dwight Gale, like experienced players that didn't really have to
Yeah.
sell on the sell on value. I think there's Hibs almost tried to be too clever with it, or maybe not too clever, just clever. And I think there's value in it. Like you buy potential because that's like a longer term model. Buy the potential, sell them for a profit, repeat, grow your club. I can see how it makes sense. But there is also like you look at Aberdeen, they have managed to recruit and sell, but I don't think they've looked to do it in the same way. I think they've looked to get players that are good for the here and now, and then had a good team to play them in. Hearts definitely do that as well. They're less bothered about the long term. They go for the get a good player in now. I think Hibs need to have a bit more of that, like to have a squad that's like right. We've brought in established players that we can are they're good. We're not so worried if three or 8 out of 11 didn't get sold on for £1 million
Yeah.
plus. We're happy for them just to come in, see out their contract, maybe extend it, and then go for low money.
Aye. Rather than having a team that everybody wants that's desirable to everybody,
Aye,
you just need like solid 7 out of 10 guys that
aye,
other teams are not that fussed about signing. But you've
aye.
got your superstars spread out. It's a balanced thing, isn't it? It's like when
It is
talk about
totally.
age profile of a team, having it too young or having the experienced heads in. It's all the same. It's all a balance. Whereas you're probably right. We over the time we've probably thought let's bring loads of bodies in like that development squad and all that. Oh, we'll make fortunes out of that. And I know
Aye,
it didn't lose money in the end, but it's not really what it was intended for, though, was it? It was like trying to be. We've got to be innovators here and like another first. You know what I mean? And
aye,
selling boys on for £1 million like every week. And it's like just do the basics. Do the basics well. Like
aye. Get a good starting level on the pitch first. Make that your priority. I think that's where we're heading. We look at Jamie McGrath coming in next season. He's
yeah,
exactly that sort of player. I mean, literally coming from Aberdeen. We tried to sign him a few years ago. There's a good article in the Observer about him, comparing him to Josh Campbell. Very, very favourable across I
right.
think virtually every metric, nearly. Um, but that's the sort of player that you want to have coming in, and maybe then you're looking at something like Mane being the wee nugget of gold that you can
Aye.
sell on. Uh, Chris said, do we offer new contracts to players that have had a great season? Naden and Iredale spring to mind instantly, but what about Gale and Hoylett? With the potential of European group football, we need experience in a squad that can cope. So we've spoken a lot about players whose contracts are coming to an end, but what about extending like Iredale and Naden that are about to uh,
Yeah.
run down their contract? Would you extend now?
How long? I think it depends how long they've got left on their deals. Because what did Madden sign? Did he sign like a 2 year, 3 year deal? If he's on a
Uh,
3 year deal,
good
it's almost
question.
when you're thinking about signing him, like give him another like let's see in 6 months' time, and then extend him when he's on an 18 months left on his deal, sort of thing. But you want to get in early enough because we've been stung enough times. Well, Porteous most recently. Nisbet to an extent, I think they were all running their deal down, weren't they? Because we never extended them early enough. But then you've got to look at it and say, right, so we're extending their deal. What age are they? What's their age profile? Nisbet and Porteous examples, or they were younger and they were looking to go and make their big money. Maybe Iredale and Nadden are at a point in their career and their age where this is their big deal. Like where McGrath's coming in for his last big deal probably before he starts winding it back down. 28-year-old, whatever he is, a 4 year
Mhm.
deal. Are we in danger of losing them if we don't extend them and give them more money? That's kind
Uh,
of the questions you've got to ask. I think with young players, when their deals are running out, you need to try and maximise the value of it because we've been stung a few times.
uh, on the Hibs website, Nicky Can 27 signed a 3 year deal. So the
So,
other thing is, we've seen it before where we rush into like Jake
yeah,
Doyle Hayes
Jim,
was on the door
yep,
two minutes and we gave him a 4 year deal and then
they're
just
still
never
paying it.
kicked a fucking ball. Aye. Danny's confirmed Cadam's 3 years. Iredale was two, so Iredale probably would be one that I would extend then.
Aye,
I think you've seen
yeah,
enough there to say you didn't want
give
him
another
going
year,
into
didn't
the last year and
he?
running
Yep.
it down. Danny also says, any thoughts on Bobby Wales as another pre-contract for the summer? Apparently, we're interested. Do you think he would be a good option for us?
I've got to say I don't know. I've heard of him, but I don't know much about the laddie. Is he Kilmarnock? That's what I know. But
Aye,
I don't even know what position he plays.
has he got the most Kilmarnock name gone. I guess I made that point on a chat. Like I didn't even care who he played for. It was like
Any
he
relation to Gary?
don't know.
Because he must be about age to have a son.
I think Bobby Wales came on for the Scotland youth team. Like the who played was it 19s
Aye.
or the under 21s? What did they play?
19th.
Scotland 19s. I think he might have played and scored. I think I might be making that up. I'm sure I saw a wee tweet from Kilmarnock about it. Donald said some folk won't know what suspenders are. Andrew Breslin said, "Hi bees, hi bees, hi bees, buzzing the days, guys. I was on top of the stadium tonight." He says, "Well, was the top artist seat with a view of our fine stadium?"
I was going to see what the fuck we did up there.
Say it is quite incriminating, isn't it? El Kerr said, "I'm not too bothered about international break, but I hate the ones where it's just international friendlies, boring, meaningless games, yet 100% behind you on that one."
They're the
Ian
June ones,
says,
aren't they? See, these have
aye,
been Nations League things and all that. They're actually they got rid of friendlies, but I think the June ones they said the night were friendlies, and it's Iceland and fucking. I can't remember the other team, but it's like you go really, like they're not even like you're going, oh,
glamour
aye,
prize.
brilliant, aye.
Ian said, changing our managers has affected our progress. Levitt was playing well for Dundee United, but it was 3 managers ago for us. Team shape and formation has changed. That's a good
Yeah.
point as well. Like we need, it's like all round stability we need. Like I kind of as fans all when things are going wrong, especially we have this sort of clamour for change, and it'll happen again, I'm sure. Uh, but you need that wee bit. Liechtenstein's the other team, by the way. Thanks,
Oh, aye.
Ilka. You need that wee bit of stability. Right, last one, Colin, because we're out of time. Elka, so would you extend Boyle's contract? Pretty sure there's an option for another year in his current deal.
Aye, so did we cover this? We might have covered this an extra time last week actually, but um, I spoke about it and saying it's almost like so he's still providing us goals. He's still scoring the big games. He's still doing that. Is he worth what we're paying him? I don't know what we're paying him, but there's been rumours of like 7, 8, 9 grand a week and all that. If that's the case, is he still bringing that value to the team, or could we get, if we were going to go out and say we'll give somebody 8 grand a week, could we get somebody like a younger, hungrier version for that on on the books, and or would Boyle sign for half that? Because of what, or, from an ego point of view, and I know I'm not saying he's got a big ego or anything, but if somebody came to me and offered me half my wage to stay on doing the same job, I'd probably go, thanks, but no thanks. I'll take my chances elsewhere, right? So I don't know if we get I don't know is the answer. I really don't know. I'm glad I'm not making the decisions because he is still bringing value, but is it enough value
Aye,
for that money?
that the question can we get better for the same money is that's really what it boils down to for me. I think if you take emotion out of it, emotionally it's an easy decision. You would renew like for that side, like it's moving a conversation. You'd say I give him a couple of years, no bother. But then I would have stuck another year in front of Lewis Stevenson as well. Do you know, and Paul Allen, because that's what emotions do. Um, Boyle falls into that sort of category. I think you would happily see him there again, and you definitely wouldn't want him feeling like he wasn't wanted because of the career that he's had at Hibs. He's been very
Yeah,
good for us, and we've been good for him. But like you say, it's a big wage in football. Although, like kind of folk talk about footballers' wages as if it's none, and they're kind of like 500 grand, 500 quid a week. Like, what's the difference? But that's like a lot of money over the course of a year. Like, if you could find somebody that could give us better value than Martin Boyle, the club kind of duty bound to take it, I think.
yeah,
Um, but there is also the intangibles, the continuity that gets Hibs, these kind of cliches that folk throw in as well. It's not just about goals and assists. There is
yeah.
like about needing people like that in the
He
club
just
as we've
gets it.
seen. Aye, good
Just gets
people.
it and all that. Yeah,
You get it. Why we kept David Gray, why we kept Darren McGregor, etc. There is an argument for that, and that also comes into place. I'm glad I'm not making a decision as
I
well,
know.
to be
They're
fair.
quite hard. They are
Aye,
hard. Yeah.
but that's what they get paid the big bucks for. Anyway, Joe said, good podcast, Mike and Colin. Thanks, Joe. Thanks everyone for your comments, and if you sent in questions on Patreon or Twitter or on Blue Sky, thanks for them as well. If you want more of this, you'll get extra time on Patreon, or if you look underneath the wee video you're watching on YouTube, if that's where you've got it, you'll see a wee link where you can join the channel as a member. You'll get other subscriber content on there as well. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you all next time.